Hello and welcome back to me, Admiral. Joining me back on Star Trek once again. As I promised, we are going to be looking at some of the officer crews, ignoring the bridge layout, and we're going to be focusing on today's episode on the lower deck sort of layout and crews and what the bonuses are, how to sort of work around it, and certainly how to navigate across the drop down menu or the drop up menu in this case, because it doesn't go down. So we'll start at the easiest point, and that is obviously the drop up menu. And you can start from strength, and it works all the way down to name, obviously in alphabetical order. And then everything in between. So you got different classes, you got the groups, you got attack, defense, and health, which are the three that we're going to focus on mainly. And then we're going to look into the below deck abilities as well, but only touch on it. But yeah, we'll be focusing on the main three predominantly for this video. When you come over to the crew stats, which is what we're going to be focusing on as well, is they have obviously different abilities. This is the base stats for this ship. This is a tier 4 Enterprise, I believe. So this is the base stats for this ship with obviously the bridge crew involved. And this is what we get in terms of bonuses straight away. However, obviously these change depending on what you want according to the ship and to the different categories. So when you get to the 100%, you'll get a 9,000 increase rating to the attack bonus of the ship. Defense, you'll get, that's basically mitigation and shields. And then health is the same essentially. The way to have a look at these stats is go into details. So the attack, you're going to be looking at the attack here. It's going to directly affect the damage per round. And then defense is going to directly affect your shield deflection, most likely. And then in health, it's going to directly affect the whole health. So you're going to be able to get that higher. So when we, for example, if we put in all attack officers, we'll just put 3 random ones in. Doesn't actually make a difference. We're going to get to a bonus of 300%. And as you can see by this, every 100%, you're going to get that sort of added on. So we're going to click confirm there when it goes to it. And that's the difference. So in the damage per round, it's gone up to 405,000 compared to the 300 that it was at. So get rid of them. And then the same goes for the others. So if you go defense officers, these are the same thing. You just go to the defense tab and you'll see that the shield deflection has gone up quite massively. And it gives you all of the rundown of everything that you want in that sort of stats. But you're not going to want to run a full crew of them specific types. You're going to probably want to run a crew of different variations of that same thing. So you're going to probably want to run, the most common ones are probably going to be health and attack. So you're going to want to run someone with health just to bolster your health overall. I personally run 2 officers with health. So for example, well, she's getting used, so we'll just put Vemet in there for now. So I run normally 2 officers with health, and then I normally then have an attack officer as well, which in this case we'll use Mara because why not? So we'll run that, say, for this ship, so that takes us to a health of, it doesn't really say in this one, it just says 1 million. So you have to specifically go into this to find out how much health you're actually getting from the officers. And as you can see here, we're getting a bonus of 362,000 with a 444,000 shield health as well. And then the attack, as you can see, it's stayed at 405,000 due to the fact that we're getting the officer bonus, and it gives you all of the rundown here as well, giving you that extra bonus that we spoke about before. So that's what I normally would do. I normally go 2 health and then 1 attack. Defense, it depends what ship you're on. Obviously, something like the Enterprise would massively benefit from having more defense. So this is where you might go, instead of the 2 officers, you might go with a defense officer or someone who's in the middle ground, so defense, but also has quite high in health. And the way to do that is go to health, and then Bones has pretty decent defense as well. But you need to get that sort of stats up, and then that's how you sort of min-max them essentially. But if we go get rid of bones and we put in, say, Spock in this position, that'll even everything out into this sort of ratio here. And again, we are actually losing overall because that's what this indicates. But you're gaining in other areas and losing in others at the same time. So that's essentially what you've got to try and figure out for yourself. What type of crew layout you should run. As I said before, I personally normally run 2 health with 1 attack officer, just because the longer you can last in a battle, the better. And that's where the health comes in. And then the faster you can hit the enemy, the harder you can hit them, then generally speaking, you're going to be able to damage them much, much quicker as well. Therefore, the length of time you last doesn't really make much of a difference. And Winston's going crazy at absolutely nothing. He's just barking out the window, I believe, because he's an absolute pain in the butt. But yeah, then it comes to what do you do with the new things that they've added into the game. So you have this bar at the top here as well, next to the, obviously, the officer abilities. You got the 3 different officer abilities, and then you got this bar here, which has got currently nothing assigned to it. So if we get rid of all them and we go to our below deck abilities, we have a bunch of officers that we can assign in this lower deck category. I say a bunch, literally 3 at the moment. But what they allow is they allow not only to be the lower deck, so you get the advantage of them being the lower deck, but they also have an added bonus to them. And then bonuses are as followed here. So this is what they provide when they're in the lower deck capability or ability. But not only that, is obviously they do have officer abilities as well. So you can put them in the officer slots if you want to. And the good thing about doing something like that is then you get also their lower deck ability as well. There. Yes. So you get their lower deck ability here. So you're always getting, so it's best to use this ability rather than their officer ability, depending on who they are. But the lower deck ability, which is what they're sort of predominantly for, this is where you want to put them. This is where you want to use them. And they do give pretty decent overall bonuses, depending again on what ships you use them on. Penetration is something that you can use on any ship. Mitigation, any ship. Shield health points, I would say any ship. However, the Enterprise really doesn't need this boost. So you try and avoid using him on the Enterprise because it kind of makes no difference. But the other 2 you can definitely use on any ship in the game because they will definitely benefit you overall. So hopefully this video has been useful to you. Just a quick rundown on all the lower deck stuff, how to sort of navigate around, how to do different things. Please let me know your sort of which characteristics you look for the most in the comments down below. Don't forget to head over to Discord. And other than that, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.